Hey, happy Monday. Man, I'm glad to be here with you guys. So many people they start the week like, "Oh, it's Monday," right? But I love to start the week with passion. I love to start the week on the right foot so that because it sets the tone for the rest of the week, right? I get up really early and do this routine because it sets the tone for my day. So, and I believe that starting Monday off strong, it sets the tone for your whole week. Am I right? So if you start Monday like, oh gosh, it's Monday, then how do you think the rest of your week is going to go, right? So if you start off like, yes, it's Monday, another day to serve, another day to accomplish, another day to be fulfilled, another day to serve on a higher level, right? So that's what I like to do. That's how I like to start my Monday. So that's why I'm all chipper on Mondays. So this week I've been thinking a lot about gifts. The things, the specific talents and the skills that we have. I believe in my heart that we all have specific special gifts that are given to us by our creator that are unique to us. Things that have been given and put within us, and they're just ours, and they're nobody else is the same, right? I mean, you look at billions of people and no two people are the same. I think our gifts are the same way, our talents are the same way. We have a very unique perspective and a unique way of connecting with other people, and I call that your gifts. So contrary to what most people think, or a lot of people think, these are not something that you should keep locked inside you. They're meant to be shared with others. They're meant to be used to serve other people. So we all have these special gifts, right? We all have these amazing talents, right? And as you go along, I would love for people to put in the chat what your gifts are. If you've already discovered your gifts, throw those in the chat. I would love to read those either during or after. I love reading the comments. I love connecting with you guys. And so throw your comments in the chat. Tell me what your gifts are. If you believe those, you already know what those are. And if you don't worry. We're coming up on how you can actually discover those gifts. So here's the thing. We're all given these gifts. We're all given these talents and skills, right? Skills you can kind of learn, but talents and gifts I think are innate. Now that doesn't mean it's something that you can't learn. It just means that we have natural tendencies. We have natural things that we're good at, right? And I call those the gifts. So we have these gifts that are given to us by our creator, but here's the tricky part. We've been given them, but it's actually up to us to discover those gifts and to figure out how to use those, right? To discover how to connect meaning to those and use those in a huge way, right? So can we agree that humans have an amazing capacity to achieve, to serve, to impact? I mean, can we agree on that? I mean, you've got all the way from Mother Teresa to Elon Musk. And so our potential is basically limitless. There's really no limit to what humans can accomplish, can achieve, right? But here's the thing. What humans can do is totally limitless. What they can do is amazing, but what they will do, let's be honest, is usually kind of disappointing, right? So let's say that you don't really know what your gifts are. Let's say that you know that you have gifts, but you haven't really tapped into them. You don't really know what that real thing is that gives you the juice in life, that lights you up, that really connects you, right? And that's okay. I spent most of my life, I believe, not connected to my true gifts. But when I found my true calling, my true mission in life, it changed everything. It changes everything. So when you can actually discover that, everything changes, and it doesn't necessarily change overnight. It did kind of for me, but when you are able to really connect to that, it's amazing, and your potential will just massively expand around you. So are there methods? Is there a way to actually discover your gifts? Well, there actually are. And so there's three main ways to really discover your gifts and your talents. If you're not connected to them, if you don't really know what they are, there's kind of three main ways to do it. So you can find your gifts within your interests and your hobbies. So these can really kind of clue you into what your real gift is, because I believe that we all have this natural pull to certain things, right? We all have different interests, right? Some people like outdoors. Some people really like tech. Some people like traveling. Some people like, gardening. Everyone's different. And that's what's amazing about it, is that we're all different. We all have these different tendencies. We all have these different drives and different pulls. And I believe that's part of your gift. I think that there's kind of an inkling, there's a feeling deep inside that pulls you toward things that can give you a clue toward what your gift is. And no, I don't mean like binging Netflix or doom scrolling or video games. Now, none of that has anything wrong, and none of that is wrong in and of itself. But I mean things that connect you to other people, things that will really bring you across the path of other people and really helps to feed who you are, right? And so I believe that when you find something that interests you, when you have a hobby or an interest, that you should embrace that kind of magnetism, right? Because it's like a magnet pulling us in, right? When we find something that it really lights us up, that really interests us, that's so powerful for us, it's like a magnet. It pulls us in, right? And I think that's a huge key toward what our true calling is, because it's kind of whispering like, this is what you were meant to do. So it's pulling us in. So if you can really lean into that and embrace your hobbies and whatever you're interested in, I think there's a pretty good chance that you can find what your true gift is. The second thing is an activity, something within something else. So like an activity within an activity, or a task within a task. So sometimes those gifts can be found in something that you already do that maybe doesn't really feel like a gift, right? Maybe it's connected, or I guess embedded in another activity, right? So for example, when I was building my home inspection company, or actually both of my home inspection companies, I would teach and I would speak in order to really get exposure for my companies, right? Whether it was a short presentation, whether it was a speech, a class, a workshop, I was always out there looking for some opportunity to speak or coach people. And that was so I could promote my home inspection company, right? But here's the funny thing. I fell in love with speaking and coaching. It was something that I was doing just to promote the other company, right? But I fell in love with the process of actually connecting to people, to speaking and making an impact in people's lives, and to coaching and being able to see these real-time transformations and these real-time feedback, and seeing people start to change their lives, and seeing people start to really take their life to the next level and take an action, and really taking control of their own life instead of just letting life happen to them, right? They were embracing life, and that was so fulfilling to me, and I found my true calling there. And now I have a coaching company where I work with people individually, I work with people in groups, and I'm living my calling, my true calling, and my purpose, and I'm fulfilling that, and it's the most amazing thing. Now, this is different for everyone, but this situation where you're doing something where you have another passion within the task that you're doing, this could be the case for you. You could be a realtor. And in the case of, in the process of selling homes, you find that your true passion is interior design, right? I actually know a couple of realtors that's true of. That's the exact scenario. They found out that they love interior design just by being a realtor, right? Not just a realtor, but I mean, they found it within that process, right? And that's what really lights them up now. Maybe you learn through an experience that that you're really good at negotiating, and so you become a master negotiator, right? Maybe you're really into social media marketing, and that's what really lights you up. And so maybe there's something totally random that you do. Maybe it's part of a hobby you already do. Maybe it's something that you do as part of just your personal life that just really, really speaks to you, right? And so in those situations, I think there's a good chance that there's a gift within there that you can really start to dig into and discover. So it could be totally random. But I think when you really start to dig in and you start to pay attention to what you really are interested in within other tasks, that's something that's a special gift, that's a special pull, and there's something there that you were meant to do. I can guarantee you that we all have our own gifts, and sometimes we find it in some of the most bizarre and unique and out of the way areas, right? So there's a quote by Alexander Pope that I just love, and it's all nature is but art unknown to thee, all chance direction which thou canst not see. So no matter what situation is you're in, right? Maybe you were meant to be there. Maybe there was something in there that you were meant to discover, right? And the third way to really discover your gift is through crisis. Sometimes your gifts can be discovered through struggle, heartache, and loss. And here's the thing, these ones can be really, really difficult. These ones can be really painful. In fact, most of the time they are. But often they end up being the most powerful. You know, I told you before, I was speaking to promote my home inspection business, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process, but I didn't really fully embrace it. But after my 8-year-old son got cancer, you know, I went through this crazy depression. And I went through all this crazy stuff, and I dropped the ball on a lot of things, and my life kind of started going downhill. But when I was able to embrace the gifts that I was given, I came out stronger on the other side, ready and willing and passionate to share who I really am and what my true calling is and what I was really meant to do in this world. So maybe you've been through something traumatic. Maybe you've lost someone. Maybe you've got a scary diagnosis. Maybe your life has been turned upside down. But crisis and struggle, it has a way of making us stronger and more resilient. Plus, here's the thing. The number one story, the number one most powerful narrative, the most powerful thing that resonates strongest with everyone is the comeback story. So if you've been through this, if you've had a crisis, if you've had a traumatic experience, your comeback is coming. Your next level is on the other side of whatever you're trying to overcome. I promise you. So I'm not saying you go try and look for crisis, but you can use that crisis to instead of using as an anchor to hold you back, use it as the wind in your sails and keep moving forward. And sometimes you can find that passion in the crisis. Here's the thing, your gifts are completely different and they're totally unique to you. You have something just totally special and unique that you can offer, that only you can offer. Here's the one thing to remember about your true calling. It will always have something to do with serving others. This is where all the juice and all the fulfillment in life is, where our lives intersect with the life of someone else or the lives of someone else. Don't let your gifts go to waste. You were born for this. You were born with a gift. You were put here to share and to serve. And the world will be a better place when you decide to embrace the gifts that you already have. You discover those gifts and you embrace them. Go find your gifts and show the world what you're really, really capable of, because you're capable of almost anything. Your potential is limitless. And hey, if you're a real estate professional and you want help unlocking your gifts, if you're ready to stop trying to figure it out all on your own, if you want guidance in stepping into your true passion and becoming the person you were really meant to be, let's set up a discovery session. My passion is to help you find yours. And I love helping people find their passion. Just click on the link in my bio and schedule a call with me. Hey, thanks for being here. Thank you for being willing to learn about your unique gifts and how to unlock them. I would love for you to share, like, subscribe, and check out all my other videos. Go find and unlock your incredible gifts, and don't let another day go by without sharing your gifts with the world. See you soon.